Welcome to another edition of the Total Recall Gaming Club.
Very exciting. We're on our second
We're
game.
playing our second game. So what we're playing now is this game called Tiny Epic Tactics. Now, I bought this a couple years ago. I was really captivated by, it just looked like a lot of fun, this like tiny little thing, and it's like, the game itself seemed appealing. And I love these kind of like fantasy themed games. And so what's cool about it is it comes in this box. Now this top part of the box is you just kind of put it to the side. It's the box, but then the rest of it is the terrain, and this box itself is part of the terrain that the game's going to be fought on.
That's so cool.
And it's also it's got like two modes, and it's got like the multiplayer mode where it's like a big free for all battle, and then it's got then it's got like the solo mode where it's like a dungeon exploration game. And I was a little disappointed because only in the solo mode does it have this feature where you enter a cave and then when you enter the cave, now you're in like a little dungeon that you go through. Like, I really like that. But that's a little beyond the scope of the multiplayer game, which is what we're going to play.
Dude, these meeples are neat looking.
Yeah, they're really cool, and I like the way this sort of fantasy world works because you've got four types of characters in your party, and I like the archetypes they chose because they have a mage, they have a fighter, and nice looking meeples with a little paint on them, and then they have a rogue. But then the fourth one, what would you think the fourth one would be? It's a werewolf. Now, isn't that kind of cool? Because that's not
hell.
Yeah, that's not like the typical sort of Dungeons and Dragons setup.
This is my kind of game.
But yeah, having a werewolf, that's kind of cool. So yeah, let's.
I like the details on these meeples.
See, now the first thing you do is you lay down this map cloth.
Wow, that's awesome. And
again, like, it's a nice touch. It's sort of adds a little something to it. My only complaint would be like, something that would be like cheaper would be just like a little piece of cardboard or something, which I think would actually work better because like you can see how it kind of bunches up and curls up
in a little bit
and stuff. And then you put so then this is how the world kind of goes together. You line up where these arrows are, the caves, and so you can see you make like a pretty cool little like terrain. Yeah,
like a cliff.
Yeah,
dude, this is so fun. Like, talk about using the whole like every element of the box.
Exactly. Yeah,
this is so awesome. There's a little entrance there too.
Mm-hmm. This is like the castle, and yeah, you can go inside, and it becomes like a dungeon or whatever. I've only played this game once, and it was a lot of fun, which is why I'm, bringing it out here now. Yeah, pick a color. Do you want to be yellow, green, red, or blue?
I'll be yellow. Dude, I'm so happy the's a werewolf in this party.
Yeah, isn't that kind of a
so
fun idea? So then we have these tactic cards, which are kind of like little special moves that you can do. And so basically, it's like this big battle royale, and you're gonna try to move your guys around here to try to conquer different things. And there's different points. Like there's different victory points you get for different things. So like if you have a guy at the end of the game, if you have a guy sitting in a town, you get a certain number of victory points for that. If you kill one of my, if you capture one of my guys, that's what it is when you defeat somebody. They're captured. You get a lot of victory points for that. And then the other thing is you can see these areas with flags.
Yeah.
So there's different flags, and those areas, what you have to do is to activate the flag area. One of your guys has to step on the big flag in the flag area, and then on your next turn, if you're still there at the beginning of your next turn, and you have more guys in this area than your opponent. I guess this area also includes these two spots too. Then the flag gets activated and it starts moving turn by turn towards sort of like the victory area. And if you're still in control of this, by that time you get the flag, which is worth a lot of victory points too. And then it also triggers the end of the game. So once somebody captures a flag, the other players get to play one more turn to kind of like make an attempt to even it up, and then the game's over, and you count up your points.
This is awesome. I like this is like a dream. I think when I was in like elementary school or something, we tried to make a game like this, like with oak tag. Like,
yeah, right.
Like we would like fold it and stuff. Like it's so cool seeing it.
Yeah, you're right. It is like I sometimes have dreams about like board games that don't exist and stuff, and they sort of fold open and have like cool moving parts and stuff. And this does feel like that. It's like somebody obviously like put a lot of love into this. Now these arrows, these are like entry points for like different things. Now you can use these arrows to like enter the castle. You can also climb the castle walls. You can climb these hills too. It takes like an extra movement point to do that. And then these like cave doors, they're portals. And so if you enter one of these, you can reemerge at any of the others. So it's kind of allows you.
That's fun.
It makes this map not quite if you need to get from one side of the board to the other, it's not too bad because
the caves are the portals.
Yeah, the caves are the portals. Now in the solo game, you enter the cave and then now you're in a dungeon. That's pretty wild. But
I see like the shackles on the wall in there.
This is the tracker for like the flags, and so if you get control of a flag, you get 5 victory points, which is nothing to sneeze at. And these are the 3 flags. You have the 3 flags.
It even has meeple flags.
Mm-hmm.
Those die are cool too.
Yeah, cool little dice. And then these little wooden things here, these are like little markers to show if your guy's tired, if your guy's exhausted, which is kind of a cool feature. Like different things you can do in a turn. You can move, you can attack. I think there might be one other thing you can like cast spells. You can like fire projectiles and stuff. But like in your turn, you can only do one of those things. But if you want to do 2 of them, what happens is then you become exhausted. And what that means is on your next turn, you're exhausted, and you have to spend your whole turn unable to do anything. And then that's like your rest period. And then at the end of your turn, you lose this, so you can start moving the third turn, your turn after that. But if you want to spend 2 of your hit points, you can spend 2 hit points and wake this guy up on his turn. So it's like that. That's kind of like an interesting wrinkle. Sort of. So it's like, do you like push your guys to the max to try to like get in some like hits on or get some stuff accomplished, or do you let them rest? And then there's these so you're supposed to shuffle these cards. These are the cards of like the various characters in the game, and you're supposed to shuffle them under the table because they're like double-sided cards, so you don't want to see which ones they are. And then you get 4 of these little hearts. That's gonna be your hit point trackers for your characters.
Cool. I like these.
Mm-hmm.
And then Castlevania.
yeah. Again, like I like this thing of like taking like video game things and making them like part of like the physical world. You're not looking at a screen anymore. And you have your projectile tracker.
Oh, that's fun.
That's for tracking your projectiles. And then you have your mana tracker, which is for your mage to sort of track that kind of stuff. And then you get 4 of these exhausted tokens in case all 4 of your guys are exhausted.
I'm gonna push this team to the limit.
Yeah, like isn't this kind of just like an appealing setup to begin with?
So
like
fun.
the board is very appealing. The the meeples, the characters, the little trackers are very appealing, and then the size. You know, the fact that it's like a smaller scale than normal is kind of fun too. Makes it kind of like travel size.
It's definitely fun. It has the I know we were talking about before, like the Mighty Max kind of like appeal. Like you think that this would just kind of like, oops, sorry, if it wasn't like a board game with just like be like a little play set that would open up.
If you're playing the solo game, all these different characters, these different like werewolves and whatnot, they become the non-player characters that you encounter in the dungeons and have to fight. And I like the range of these archetypes. So, you know, as many different types of rogues as they can sort of come up with. And then as many different fighters. So this is like it's like some kind of like orc fighter or something. And here's one for you, and here's one for me. Oh, cool, I got like a ninja for mine.
I got Silver. That was the name of Naughty's old dogs.
Okay, hi-ho, Silver. I got Azoro, the ninja,
Cool.
which maybe means, you know, which means blue, I guess. Oh yeah, yours Silver. That's kind of like Drizzt. It's like the Drow elf. You know, he's a pretty cool character to have.
One time, Silver, Naughty's dog.
Silver the dog.
Silver the dog ate a bunch of string, and it shit all its turns out on a rope.
That's awesome. That was a story in Elizabeth Gaskell's Cranford. Like the cat ate a doily, and then you know she had to wait for you know, and she was very fussy and fine, this lady, and now she's got to wait for her cat to shit out a doily. It was like this doily that had been in the family for years.
Jowls.
That was your old nickname.
Jowls McGillicuddy.
We have our parties. In the corner, there's the fighter, the werewolf, the rogue, and the wizard. So then you take your hearts and put them on these big hearts. That's like, so you know, you're setting your life. You're setting your life force to max. You know, put your mana tracker at max also, and then take your ammo tracker and set that to max for your two characters, the rogue and the fighter, who also have ammo, who have distance weapons. The boot is how many spaces you can move in a turn. Now also, spaces are affected by terrain, so to enter water takes an extra point. To climb up a mountain takes an extra point. And if you're already in the water and then you're moving into another water, again, it's like another extra point. But then stepping out of the water doesn't take an extra point. You know what I mean? So if you have four, if you're like here, and then you have 4 movement, you can move into here, that's 2, and then move into here, that's another 2, and then you're done.
Okay. That is cool that water has an effect on them.
Yeah. Yeah, and the mountains, the funny thing is, like, even this super tall mountain only takes 1 extra point. Like, all the mountains take a point, or if you want to scale the castle wall, that takes a point. So first, you choose where you're going to be. So there's these little start areas, which have, like, these little stars, little 4 stars together.
Okay.
So you choose, like, one of those areas where you can go first, and then you place one of your units. You can see them all around the board. They're there.
These are the units. Each one is a
each
unit?
one is a unit.
Do they? And I don't have to have them all like in the same.
No,
unit?
they do all have to be in the same. So you choose one of your guys, stick them in one of those, and then we alternate each turn placing our guys, and then you. But they all have to be in the same, like, 4 unit.
I'm gonna add Silver right there.
Okay, and then I am going to.
And Clotho right here.
Okay, and then Umag goes here. So now we're ready to begin. Now you can go first, and you'll see each character has their own, like, little movement. If you're on a peak, and you have, and you're doing, like, a spell or a ranged attack, a spell or like arrows or whatever. If you're on a peak, which is this specific kind of and this here and this here, if you're on a peak, you can. Everything's within range.
That's
you
sick.
Can hit anybody. And then there's also a ballista, It's here. It's like this kind of like cannon tower that you can like fire from. Also,
Oh, that's super.
it
rad.
takes one of your movement points to fire. Oh yeah, and so then the other thing is if you have a guy in a village, if you pass through a village during the game, you get 4 of your hit points back, and it fully replenishes all your ammo or mana.
Oh wow.
So that, that's like, you're resting up and doing whatever. And if you have a unit at the end of the game standing on a village, you get a victory point for that too. So
There's so many
yeah.
cool ways. And like that's a village there. There's a village there.
Yeah, they're all over the map, and so like that, that victory point, controlling the flag, that's the big victory point. But then there's like, you can get 2 victory points for defeating a guy, 1, so you can, maybe figure out a victory that way. I'm gonna try to get to one of these flag areas as soon as I can. Like I feel like that's like a key to victory.
I've got a flag area in mind too.
I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I got my rogue, Azoro, that can move 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I got my fighter, who can move 1, 2, 3, 4. And then got my mage, who can also move 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're on the move, and then I'm not within range to do any kind of attack on you. So then I get a tactic card. Let me just shuffle these up real quick.
And your characters can't share the same square.
I can't share the same square. I can pass through one of my characters, like I can sort of on route, but I can't pass. I can go like 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't end on the square of one of my guys, but I can pass through my guys. But I can't pass through your guys. So usually, if you're next to one of your opponents, that's when a fight's about to start.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, so then I get a tactic card, and you're supposed to keep these secret, but since you're learning, and we're teaching the audience, teaching you. We'll just sort of share to show. So this says discover a hot spring. If you end an ally's movement in a water space, then immediately restore that ally to full hearts. So that can come in handy. That can you just have to go in the water, and then you'll be able to heal somebody in your party. And so you're allowed to hold 2 of these cards. You get 1 at the end of every turn. You're only allowed to have 2 at a time. So if you when you get your 3rd card, you have to decide like, okay, which one of these am I going to pitch?
Oh, geez.
But it's kind of cool because then you get sort of your pick of different powers that come through you. Okay, so now you can start moving your guys.
Cool.
My turn's over.
I'm gonna move silver. Looks like 3 spaces.
Okay.
We're gonna go 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
I'm gonna move. I think that's Senshi the fighter. 4. Whoa. 1, 2, 3, and then I can't get into the castle yet, right? It's
You could go through a door if you're near a door, but it would take 2 movement points to get into the castle.
I'm gonna move then Clotho. 1, 2, 3, and then Jowls.
Your old childhood nickname.
My childhood nickname.
You're the only kid in the neighborhood with Jowls. How many moves does he have?
He has 3. I'm just gonna move him 1.
Well, that's acceptable, or maybe if you want to like move him towards something else, I don't know. But if all your guys are heading here or whatever, just like so. Again, like we're just sort of learning here, and this is my 2nd time playing this game. Had a lot of fun the first time I played it, but what would as you become more seasoned at this game, what become part of your strategy is like making sure that like your guy who's got the most movement points, you kind of put him in like the front square so he can go as far as possible, and then nobody's, because if you put like your slowest guy in front, then like everybody else is kind of lagging, it's kind of stuck.
It's a bottleneck.
It's a bottleneck. Exactly.
So he is 3. So I went 1, 2, and then is it extra moves to go through water?
To enter water is an extra move. So yeah, you wouldn't be able.
So I'm gonna leave Giles
Okay,
there.
Giles there.
He's
Giles Martin.
He's afraid of water.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like a good dog.
And then yeah, you can't do any kind of shooting or special moves or anything. So then, I'll put these tactic cards where we can both reach them. So yeah, you can grab a tactic card.
Let's see what we got here.
And yeah, just you can show it to me just so we can kind of.
Examine the caverns. If you move 2 allies through portals in a single turn, then immediately perform 1 free melee attack action with any one of the allies that just moved. This will not cause weaken. It cannot be countered.
That's a really nice card to have, because yeah, you could just like, if I'm near a portal, you could just kind of like send one of your guys through a portal, or a couple of your guys. This would be your tactic card. These are my tactic cards.
Oh.
And then yeah, you could send a guy through the portal and then just like, bam, do a hit, like attack my guy, and then you're not penalized at all. That's a nice card. That's a good one. Some of these are like better than others, but yeah, that sounds like a good one. So then yeah, your turn's over, and now I'm looking at my stuff. So let me see. I got my werewolf. He's 1, 2, 3, 4. So he's in that area, but he's not on the trigger square, so he can't.
And that's the big flag.
Yeah, the big flag is the trigger square. Yeah. And then let's see. I got my fighter. He can go 4. So he's going to go through the portal. So that's 1. So he's like entering that one and exiting this one, and that's 1 movement. 2, 3. So that is the trigger thing. So as long as this guy's on this starting next turn, and I have more guys in this area than yours, then that'll start the countdown clock. Okay, and then see, this guy, he can go 4. He's gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. Like an old-fashioned movement. And then this guy's gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. So, and also when you're calculating range for like your ranged attacks, it's like you can't go diagonal. So you'd be like 1, 2, 3. To calculate the range, you'd be moving like that. Okay, and then I think I've moved all my guys, and
new tactic card.
Yeah, get a new tactic card. So this one says knock them out. If you knock back an enemy target out of a control area with a melee attack, then immediately move any other enemy target 1 space into an empty space adjacent to them. So that's like extra. Like when you fight, you can like choose to like knock the other guy like back, where like so you can like push him out of one of these areas, one of these control areas. And so if you opt for that, then you roll the dice and see like if you're successful in pushing them back. And so this one you get to push them back 2 extra spaces.
Push them back, way back.
Okay, so now your turn. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. I'm gonna 1, 2. I'm just gonna go in this door.
Yeah.
3, 4.
Okay.
Silver. 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I just scaled the wall.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Who's this one? That is Clotho. 1, 2.
How many moves does Clotho have?
Or 3.
Okay.
I keep looking at the store.
Okay.
3.
There you go.
And then Jowls.
Yeah.
The pressing of Jowls Quarry. 1, 2, 3.
There, tactic card.
Risk it all. If you perform a melee attack with an ally who has over 4 hearts or fewer,
Has 4 hearts or fewer. Okay.
then deal +1 damage and you cannot be countered.
Okay. That sounds good. It's like a cool attack. Okay, and then so now it's my turn, and yeah, there's that thing with like the countdown clock. So on your turn, perform these steps in order. Check if you hold a majority control in any control area that has been triggered. If so, okay. So so let me see what the rules are for triggering a flag area. Securing a control area. Activating a trigger space. Move a unit onto the control area's trigger space. If your unit is on the trigger space at the start of the turn, check if you have majority control. I have 3 guys in that flag area. You have 0, so I have majority control. If so, immediately advance the matching flag token on the control card start space to the round 1 space. So it's the red flag, and now it's in round 1.
Oh, nice.
Once the control area has been triggered, it is considered to remain triggered for the rest of the game, even if no unit occupies the trigger space. And as long as I maintain majority control of that area, it'll keep moving forward. But if I move out of there or you take control, then then the flag, or I mean, if nobody's in control, then it stops moving. But if anybody's in control of that area, every turn it'll move closer to, the victory spot.
My guys, I'm like creeping into that little little enclave.
Okay, I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, and into this castle. Through there.
Oh no!
It's making it a contest here. And then
oh my gosh, that was quick. That escalated quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a small world, and you can imagine with like multiplayers, how crazy things could get. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then my rogue. 1, 2. Rogue there, and then I'm gonna attack with my mage. My magic move is Drain. It takes, one hit point plus 1 hit point per, dice roll. If I get the sort of, this is like the magic zap. If you get that on the dice roll, or I could do his hand-to-hand attack, which is 1 hit point. And then I also have Soul Siphon. During drain, I can heal 1 heart per.
I'm scared for Senshi and Silver, who are in there with
yeah,
your character. I tell you what.
I mean, I'm outnumbered, but
I didn't realize. I'm like.
Yeah, because it seemed like we were starting at opposite corners, and it's like, how are we going to get to the same area? But it's like you move, you can move across this thing. This world's only 8, 12. It's probably like 20 across. So if the thing can move 4, you can get to the same spot pretty quick. And with the portals, there's little shortcuts. So what it is to initiate a spell, you have to first check to see if you're within range. And I'm within range of you. It's the range of 4, it says on your card. And then you have to pay 1 mana to do the spell, and then you can pay extra mana for dice. So I'm going to do 1, 2 dice. So I'm going to roll 2 dice and hopefully get that spark. And I'm going to target. Who should I target? I guess I'll target this guy.
This one right here?
Yeah, the fighter.
Senshi.
So I got one of these off. So I take 2 of your hit points.
Crap.
The 1 hit point There you go. That's got a lot of hit points, though. This isn't
Tough.
a super powerful character that I have here. And then, okay, and then this guy gets weak. She gets weakened because she did 2 moves. And, yeah, so that'll be the end of my turn. I'll take a tactics card. If you climb to higher ground, if you climb with at least 2 allies onto elevated terrain in a single turn, and not by using a portal, immediately perform 1 free melee attack action with one of the allies that just moved. This will not cause weaken and cannot be countered. So that, I mean, that sounds kind of cool, but I don't know if I'd be able to initiate all that. But I'm going to substitute this knock them out card because this doesn't really, this doesn't float my boat. So stick that here. Okay, and so now it's your turn.
Oh wow! Oh my gosh.
So it's on.
Would you recommend moving these guys around first, or doing battle?
Having them stay put and do battle, because this guy can do a ranged attack. He has to be in one of the 4 cardinal directions to do a melee attack. So this guy can do a ranged attack with no penalty. This guy can do a melee attack with no penalty. So just leave them there. And then I'd get these 2 into the castle to try to activate that square on your next turn.
So I'm gonna move Jowls.
Okay.
Let's see, is this
Giles Martin.
Jowls? 1, 2, 3.
Okay. Oh yeah, and then your other guy can move 3, right? So he could go to the trigger square, and then you're almost guaranteed to activate that.
There he is. Look at this. It looks like a.
Yeah, my guy is
surrounded.
Yeah. You can attack with all 4 of these guys. It just means that these 2 would get dazed. They would get weakened. But you can attack with these 2 with no penalty, or with all 4.
I'm gonna attack. I'm gonna start with Senshi.
Okay. So Senshi, you're doing a ranged attack.
Yep, this one right here.
Okay, so with your arrows and stuff, it's the same rules as mana. You move it down 1 to initiate the attack, and then you roll 3 dice to see if you miss or not, and that's this like sort of broken arrow is a miss. Now I'll explain the miss more fully if you end up getting one. Okay, so you didn't miss at all. So okay, so you didn't get any misses. So you inflict 2 damage on my guy. 1, 2. Okay, and then
Silver will attack.
okay. So let me see, and that's a melee. So basically, you can just administer 1 hit point, or you can choose to, just 1 hit point, or you can administer the hit point and choose to roll a knockback die if you want to possibly knock my guy back.
I'll try to knock your guy back.
Okay,
too.
so roll the die. So you're already going to get you roll 1 die. Okay, so you successfully knocked me back. So you can knock me in 1 square in any of the 4 directions. Let me just see if it gets blocked at all by like having a person there. So yeah, you can knock my guy back to here. Okay, so you got in those 2 hits. And then if you want to hit with, and then I also lose a hit point, just from your hit. In addition to getting knocked back, I lose a hit point from your melee attack, because that's a given. The melee attack. And then if you want to attack with these 2, you can, and then they'll just be stunned.
I'll attack with those guys.
Okay, so yeah.
I'm gonna use attack with Jowls.
Jowls, okay, and just do his melee attack.
Is how many dice does he have to roll?
Okay, he has to roll 3, but if you attack, he does 4 damage. Nice. He does 4 damage, which will take my guy down to nothing. So you don't even have to bother rolling because you've captured my wizard.
I got him.
So that's 2 victory points. And then and then I guess you don't want to. And so put a dazed thing on Jowls. Weakened, I guess is what he's called. Just put that anywhere on his card. So he's weakened. And then
do I get a tactic card?
yeah, you get a tactic.
Honor the Fallen. If one of your allies is captured, then immediately restore 2 hearts and 2 arrows and mana to all of your allies still in play.
Okay,
that's
yeah,
pretty
Honor
good.
the Fallen, that's pretty cool. That's a good one. I'd hold on to that and then just trade in one of yours. I still have the majority in that area, so it moves another step closer to victory. And then now I can start moving my guys around.
My team immediately scrambled into the castle.
2 there. No, 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to attack your mage. Okay, so for distance, you get a -1 if you're elevated. So you get like an extra space in terms of range if you're above your target, and then you get a -1. I'm gonna have my werewolf is going to attack the only guy he can, your mage.
Clotho.
And I take 4 damage from Clotho, and I'm also going to roll all 3 for the knockback. I'm going to attack these 3, and so you get knocked back 2 spaces.
Man.
So I can only knock you back 1 though, because you'd be off the thing. So you're knocked back. So the target square doesn't get initiated, and you lose 4 hit points.
Gosh.
Yeah, you see how savage these werewolves are.
That's-
like they don't mess around.
I'm hurting here.
Like,
1, 2, 3. Holy shit!
You demolished my character with your werewolf because like those they get in close and it's like. Okay, and then now and so this guy is worn out from that, and then I am going to do a melee. I'm going to do a distant. I'm going to shoot my arrow. The range is 3, so it's 1, 2 for the elevation, and then 3. So you're within range, and I have
Senshi.
Okay, so I didn't miss with my arrow, so just for shooting the arrow, I had to pay 1 down, and then so I didn't miss, and you lose 2. Your fighter loses 2 more hit points. Your fighter has a lot of hit points, and then I think that's it for my turn.
Man, my guys are
Go
damaged.
ahead. Okay, search the forest. If you move a second ally into a forest space, so that your forces occupy 2 forest spaces, then all allies in the forest spaces may immediately restore either full ammo or full mana. Now, I don't think we're going to be doing any. I think the whole game is going to be won or lost in this area, so I'm going to reject this card. You can see how it moves fast, and it seems like that might take a while for this or that, but no, it like
The action started immediately.
Beats up fast, and you could, and also when you get 3 people involved or 4 people, you can see it getting pretty chaotic. But yeah, you were saying like werewolf versus werewolf in this castle. It's turning into kind of a movie like that one of the trailers in Grindhouse where it was like Nazi werewolves in a castle or
like
something.
Elsa, She-Wolf of the SS.
Yeah. So like we got like talking about like when we were doing our Dungeons and Dragons episode, talking about like how you take your Dungeons and Dragons campaign and then make like a story about it. It's like we got this. Where it's like this story of like this werewolf battle inside a castle.
2 an evil where the werewolf twins.
Oh, I forgot to put a weakened thing on my rogue also because
He's like, they're like an unholy battle.
Yeah. Okay, so
This
what are
is-
you doing?
Um,
We're getting close to the end.
I'm gonna start with movement.
Okay.
Silver is going to move
Back onto the triggering spot.
back up. I'm gonna attack with Senshi.
So that where's Senshi here?
Right there.
Okay. So, oh yeah, Senshi's your fighter, and so you'll be doing a ranged attack.
And then do I roll? Was that 3?
You have to roll all 3. Oh, first you have to pay for just
Using
for
'em.
doing a distance attack. Okay. For
Here-
ammo.
Here it goes.
So you just want to not miss, and you didn't miss. So if you miss, what that means is you have to pay extra ammo, and if you don't have enough ammo to cover it, then you don't get any shots in. But so you got it, and so you get 2 hits on my werewolf. So my werewolf goes down 2. 1, 2, and then what else you got?
I'm gonna attack with the werewolf with silver,
Okay, and silver, and silver is a ranged attack also.
dropping it down.
So you drop it down 1, and then you roll 2 of those. And you didn't miss either, and so that's another 2 points for my werewolf. 1, 2. Your wizard.
Yeah, Clotho.
Okay, so Clotho's going to get weakened after because Clotho moved
On the same turn.
on the
they're
same
attacking.
turn. So you move down one of your things to initiate. Yeah, one of your mana to initiate the attack, and then you can add 1 to 3 dice. And each die you add costs a mana. I mean, I would just max out on the mana. That's just that's what I would do to just try to obliterate my guy as much as you can.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
So I'm gonna try. I'm
Yeah,
going
roll.
all out. I'm going whole hog here.
Okay. So you got 2 hits in on me. So let's see what your magic is. It says summon spirit. Target takes 2 damage plus 1 damage per successful star, and then she may move the target into an empty adjacent space. So I take 2 damage for the spell plus 2 more for the dice you rolled, right? So that's
Oh, wow.
4 altogether. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm on my last 1 space in any direction.
I'll keep you, put you there.
Okay, so keep me where you could hurt me. You didn't do anything with your werewolf because he's weakened. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
now, if you're done doing, so you're done doing everything. So now, this guy who was weakened, he's unweakened, so he can do things next turn. And then you get a tactic card.
Cover the control. After you move an ally, you have at least 1 ally in each of the 3 control areas. Then immediately move 2 enemy targets 1 space, each into an empty space adjacent to them.
Okay. This seems like you're not going to get any use out of this.
We're
before the
fighting
end.
in a phone booth.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Good way of putting it. And then, that's the end of your turn. And then,
Now I gotta withstand an onslaught from.
oh, you know what? I was misleading. You can spend 2 hit points to unweaken this guy, to unweaken Jowls if you want to get in an attack also.
You know what? I'm gonna try to get in a few blows.
Okay, so this might put, take that off. Yeah, take that weaken off there, and you lose 2 hit points. And then this guy's out of the game because you take him all the way to the bottom. So you got 2 of my guys, which is a shame. It's pretty close because if you hadn't done that, then I could heal this guy on the next turn. But it's that's. I'm gonna spend 2 hit points to heal. Oh, and then this moves forward into here because I have the control here. So that
Oh,
moves
wow.
into there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this guy is gonna go 1, 2, 3. Yeah, my guy is done, and we've triggered the end of game. So now it's your turn, and so you got to do whatever you got to do to like maximize your victory points. You know what I mean? Because it's like, you know, this is like I got the flag, and so you got to scramble, do what you got to do to kind of help. So your flag, you've satisfied. So your flag has moved forward 1, but it's never going to get into the end zone. You don't have to. So now you just got to think. So you get a victory point if one of your guy for every guy that's standing on a village. You also get a get a victory point if you kill another one of my guys, which seems unlikely. Doesn't seem likely that you'll be able to move and do that. So you just got to decide what you want to do. You know,
that it ends on the village.
Yeah, if one of your guys is by the end of your turn standing on the village, then you get a victory point for them.
Does it double up to when you're jumping down from something?
No, I think when you're jumping down, it's still just 1. But let me double check that. So yeah, just try to get your guys to villages if you can.
1, 2, 3.
This guy can go 1, 2, 3 to get to a village.
1, 2, 3.
And how many moves can he make?
3.
Yeah, okay. So I was going to say you could also maybe do an attack, but I don't think you're going to kill anybody in this.
4. I think I'm 1, 2, 3, 4 just out of
Okay.
Oh crap! I could. Somebody's on that village there. Silver 3. 1, 2, 3. So.
Okay, so game's over. So now we count up the victory points to see. So you got some substantial victory points here. You got 2 for capturing this guy, and then another 2 for capturing this guy. So that's 4 victory points plus 1 for being in a village. So you have 5 victory points. And then I have 5 victory points for the flag plus 1 for being in a village. So I have 6 victory points. So you see, like, I just barely skated by with the victory, because it's like you captured 2 of my guys. That's a big deal. That's like a big accomplishment. I mean, I was doing a risky move going into this castle that you occupied.
You went in solo.
Yeah, but again, like, I kind of wanted this game to be interesting. I didn't want to have a game where it's like I'm hiding out in my corner of the world, you're hiding out in your corner. Like, I kind of wanted a little bit of excitement. So so we got some excitement, and then yeah, I retreated. Like, I was able to hold this area and then get into a village, and so just got like that 1 extra. But this is like a big accomplishment. And the first time I played this game, this is only my second time playing. The first time I lost, and it was because my opponent had captured a bunch of my guys, and it was like.
I want to play this and the other one again.
Yeah, they're this and Meeple War.
Meeple War.
Yeah, they're both fun games, and this was fun because it was kind of a quick game. It's like this little setup. It's you can like keep it with it's real portable. Take it wherever. Cool looking map, and then you can set it up, play a super fun game, and then if you got like 1 or 2 more people, it can really get chaotic. And then if nobody's available, you can do a solo game.
I love that option.
This is Tiny Epic Tactics by let me see who created this, by Gamelin Games. Let me see if they have a creator on here. I like to credit when somebody creates a game, if it's not just some like corporate IP or whatever. Tiny Epic Tactics, a tactical combat game by Scott Alms.
Great job, Scott.
Yeah, so Scott, you came up with a really fun little game here that we'll definitely be coming back to for more.
And it's cool too. Now that we got one, this one play under our belt, stuff will come back on the next go round. Too.
Yeah, thinking about like the tactics, like thinking about like just when you set up your guys, like okay, let me put my furthest, where do I want to get to, and so let me put my guy who can walk the furthest thing.
I immediately got myself in a bottleneck
Yeah.
on the bridge. We're like all marching in order and then like bunch up.
Yeah, and it kind of like kept you from activating, you know, your sort of victory flag, you know, activating the flag area, but also my sort of knocking your guy back kind of like, even though you had this thing filled with guys, knocking the one guy back was like enough to kind of, you know, put a damper on everything.
And it is
kept you
neat
to move
too,
away.
like climbing and jumping down. You feel it. You're just like, I gotta go through water, and then like I gotta scale a cliff or like climb a wall. Like
I am kind of excited to try the solo game again because it's kind of cool because, you know, you go in the
Very
cave
cool.
and then you're in like a little dungeon crawl. You go inside the castle and it's like a little bit of castle tactics. You know, you go inside this dungeon and you know, here you go. It just seems like a ton of fun.
super cool game, man. And you know the characters are fun. How did they know that's my like
That your nickname? Yeah, it's meant to be. You've been watching the Total Recall Show
Gaming Club.
Gaming Club. I'm Tom Scioli, author of I Am Stan, a graphic biography of the legendary Stan Lee, and there's a pre-order link in the show notes below. And I'm also the author of Jack Kirby, The Epic Life of the King of Comics, and there is also an Order Now link in the show notes below.
I'm Matt Zeoli.
And you can follow me on Twitter at Tom Scioli or on Instagram at Tom_Scioli.
Follow me on Instagram at cinema_tune.
And happy gaming.
Happy gaming. We'll see you at the next gaming club.
Yeah, next gaming club. Maybe it'll be a retro game.
Oh, it's yeah.
I mean, I like showcasing these new games. You know, that's kind of cool being on the cutting edge. But
the next game's gonna be a little older.
Yeah.